It's a big news day in the world of Magic the Gathering. Not only do we have a bunch of information about the upcoming Commander Legends Baldur's Gate set, but at the same time, there has been a secret Lair leak for Streets of New Capenna, featuring a creature that we've seen before, but with a new twist. This time, she's wearing a hat.
Magic. I am a wizard! History. I'm an old wizard! The magic historian. My bones hurt.
Greetings! Owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles, my friends! I hope the day finds you well, because we have gathered for another installment of Mega Magic News. Now, I've been under the weather for the past week, and it's been difficult to keep up with everything that's going on with Magic, but I have a list of news items I want to cover. They had to be put aside, however, as today delivered up even more news. We're going to be diving into a breakdown of a number of items from the upcoming Baldur's Gate Commander Legends, and we're going to talk about that secret Lair leak. So let's start out with that. I'm going to put up on the screen for you Brea Ethereum Shaper. Okay, so we have the original card, and then we also have this new artwork styling. Now, when you take a look at both of these, you can clearly see that this is most assuredly Brea that we're dealing with. Now, these leaks come by way of Magic Arena. As is the case on occasion, some clever, intrepid fellow was rummaging through the files that come along with Magic Arena and actually stumbled on a number of images, one of which being this Brea right here. Now, this image wasn't particularly attached to a card, it was attached to a file called Card Back. So what this artwork is going to be used in the full sense is as a sleeve on Magic Arena. But where does the artwork originally come from? Take a look at the background of this artwork, right? You have this kind of Capenna feel to it, which is really hammered home by her hat. And if you weren't aware, that is a fedora that she's wearing as opposed to a trilby. Now, the idea behind this is supposed to be re-theming characters that already exist into the world of New Capenna. So, while I can't say with absolute certainty that these are secret Lair cards, any time that we've seen sleeves like this in the past, they have always been rewards from secret Lair purchases. And what are the odds that they're not going to be creating a New Capenna secret Lair with characters reconcepted into the world of New Capenna, right? So Brea Ethereum Shaper is a great choice in terms of, first of all, she's a 4-cost different. You've got red, black, blue, white, 4/4 legendary human artifact creature. When she enters the battlefield, you make 2/1/1 blue Thopter artifact creatures, and then you can sack 2 artifacts to either deal 3 damage to target player or planeswalker, give target creature -4/-4 till end of turn, or gain 5 life. Like, that is a versatile set of abilities that allows you to weather a number of different storms. This isn't the most powerful and impressive card in all of Magic, but as far as it goes in terms of like 4-colored legendaries and versatility, this is really solid. And I enjoy the reconcepting that they did. You can tell it's her because of her body made up of Ethereum. If you didn't know, she's from one of the shards of Alara, where essentially their bodies are made up of this magical metal. And it's a really intimidating concept, having this human being where all of the organs and everything that should be powering her, that allows her to live, they're all gone. You can see their absence in her rib cage, which is absolutely phenomenal to me. And it's hilarious that they reshaped that little halo into a fedora hat. She's like, I'm going to Capenna. I want to fit in. Time to reshape the metal on the top of my head. Like, that just looks like a garment. But if you really think about it, that's part of her body. Imagine if you just reshaped a part of your body into a hat. How much fun would that be, right? So we've got Brea Ethereum Shaper. This is not the only card that got spoiled this way. We also have this awesome looking Atraxa Praetor's Voice. And this one's cool on multiple levels. First of all, notice we have another 4 casting cost legendary creature that has 4 different colors in its casting cost. This time it's black, blue, white, and green as opposed to what we saw with Brea. But either way, we've got 2 different 4 casting cost legendary creatures. Now, Atraxa's Praetor Voice is nuts. Flying Vigilance, Death Touch, Lifelink, And you get to proliferate at each of your end steps. So you can just spread counters around. Like Atraxa is absolutely nutty, but Atraxa has another awesome level to the card where this is an angelic horror that's essentially like the mouthpiece of the Phyrexian Praetors from New Phyrexia, right? So that is a very cool flavor concept, and it also ties more into the Phyrexian stuff that we've been seeing lately, and I'm a sucker for the Phyrexian stuff. I have been all the way since the days of the Brothers' War, back in like the early 90s, right? And if you don't know about the Brothers' War, I've got a lore series where we're going over the entire story over on Fantasy Geographic. I encourage you to go and check it out. I'll leave a link at the end of the video. So you can see that this Atraxa that we're looking at has been given artwork also done in the new Capenna style, right? It's got like it's got that Art Deco vibe. It also kind of has a cathedral vibe. She has this sort of Atraxa has this radiance that is just blasting out of her in all these different ways, almost like she's the shining sun that the light is emanating from. I don't know, the way that this is chosen, it's so impressive, the stance. And clearly, if you know your characters, that is undeniably Atraxa, right? When you look at that, you can't go, no, okay, that's somebody else. It's just not logical. You can't get there. So these are two of the cards that will be in the secret lair. I'm presuming it is going to be a commander-focused secret lair that is going to offer up creatures that all have 4 different colors in their casting costs, right? Which, I mean, that's a good market to be targeting. Let's be real. The commander players, there's a ton of them. These sort of legends that allow you to play across a wide spectrum of colors are really attractive. Now, Brea isn't a card that has a very big price tag on the secondary market. However, Atraxa is a card that has, you know, it has picked up quite a nice price to it, even with being reprinted. It's not just been printed once. Like, this isn't the first reprint we're going to get of it. They did it in Double Masters as well, right? Actually, they did Brea in Double Masters too. I wonder how they make these choices. Well, I guess there's only so many options you have, really, when you think about 4-color legends like that. What are you going to do? Go and get the old Nephilim from the older sets? I don't know. Either way, at this point, I think it's going to be a commander-focused secret lair that focuses on giving you different commanders that have 4 different colors in their casting costs. Now, my friends, let us turn to talking about Commander Legends Baldur's Gate, because unlike the speculative nature of what we just went through, there is far less speculation here and far more facts. One of the most exciting facts to me is the extra dungeons. So, in the first Dungeons & Dragons set that we got, they created 3 different dungeons that would go with the explore concept, right? So you basically get to keep delving into the dungeon, exploring through it, going down different paths and whatever. And let's be real. I mean, I'm going to tell you my feelings on this, and I imagine most people feel the same way. I don't believe that dungeons made that big of an impact on Magic the Gathering for a couple of different reasons. One is that they only were able to make 3 different dungeons with very particular sets of abilities, but because of the nature of the dungeons, one was very punishing, one was longer than the other. It really just turns into the dungeons weren't born equally, so deciding which dungeon to go into really becomes an automatic choice. We choose this one dungeon because it meets our numerical goals the best. And what you want with the situation with those dungeons is to have them spread around where people are trying different things. So the dungeons weren't really like designed well enough underneath, but more importantly than that, the actual like delving into the dungeon, that sort of thing, wasn't done properly enough to the point where the actual mechanic that allowed you to explore the dungeons, the venture mechanic, in case you're not familiar with what it's called, is basically not strong enough, right? And they came along and said, with alchemy, we're going to go ahead and change all of these different venture cards, so when you venture into the dungeon, it's like a stronger style effect. But really, dungeons in a way have kind of been put on a low pedestal because the execution initially wasn't that great. So we have an opportunity here to fix things. They're introducing one new dungeon. It's an Undercity dungeon, all right? So I'm curious to see what the breakdown is going to be, and if there's going to be enough delve stuff coming out that they're going to really be able to make the dungeons relevant. Because bear in mind, this this is a Commander Legend set that we're going to be dealing with, which means obviously it's very Commander-centric, which means they probably took a look at what happened with the D&D stuff, the dungeons, and went, you know, we didn't hit our mark. Let's turn this into a Commander mechanic. Let's focus on bringing it into Commander. So as a result, I expect that the Undercity dungeon will probably be the most powerful dungeon overall if they're looking to bring it into Commander, because it has to make a splash now. The initial dungeons and the venture mechanic didn't make a splash, so this is like last chance for romance, in my opinion, because Wizards basically will try and trot out an idea again, but once they realize that people are donezo with it, they'll just sweep it under the rug, right? That's why you didn't see certain mechanics come back with Kamigawa and everything. They went, you know what, these are dog mechanics, we're not going to bother returning them into the game, right? So I expect that this dungeon will be half decently strong. Now, there is a commander deck. One of the commander decks, there's going to be 4 commander decks, but one of the commander decks is specifically listed as having 98 cards instead of 99 cards, leading me to believe that this will be a partner commander deck. So one of the 4 commander decks will most likely be a partner deck. Somebody made an amazing joke in the comments where people were talking about this, saying, no, this doesn't mean there's going to be partner commanders. The reason that Wizards of the Coast is putting 98 cards is because they're just going to leave a card out by accident, and now they're preemptively doing it. So basically, when you contact them and go, we're missing a card, they can be like, we put that in the product description. And I have to admit, that genuinely made me laugh, because that is it's goofy. But anyways, so the breakdown in terms of boxes, you've got set booster boxes, draft boxes, and collector booster boxes, okay? Now, the draft boxes are going to be 24 packs, and each of those packs will have 20 cards, just like the first Commander Legends. Now, the set booster boxes are going to be a weird beast, because there's going to be 18 packs in the set booster box, and they're going to be 15 cards per pack. Now, I have to admit, this somewhat perplexes me, because the Commander Legends stuff was originally created in the packs they were in to create a Commander draft experience. But Commander set boosters are now 15 cards a pack instead of 12 cards a pack. But instead of getting 30 in a box, you only get 18 in a box, and it's the same cost as the draft box. So, I mean, ultimately, I feel like what they're doing is just trying to make the products more confusing and harder to compare, so that you just go, oh, am I getting a better deal? I don't know. But apparently, the set booster box and the draft booster boxes will retail for the same price. So you can either get 18 set booster boxes with 15 cards, or you can get 24 packs with 20 cards for the same price, although the breakdown of what's in each pack will vary. Now, the pre-release kits are going to be made out of 3 draft boosters, all right? So, I mean, it's really going to boil down to you getting 60 cards from those packs. You'll get your promo, and they will also include the dungeon card. So everybody who goes to the pre-release will automatically get the dungeon. The dungeon is also included in an oversized version inside the bundle. So the Commander Legends bundle will have 8 set boosters, 20 foil lands, 20 regular lands, the special promo foils that they include for those when they give you just one, right? And then the oversized Undercity dungeon. And then the collector, the bundles also come with collector packs. Trying to keep all this information straight can get pretty confusing. Admittedly, I'm still the tiniest little bit under the weather, so my brain doesn't feel like it's 100% up to speed. But anyways, they're including sample collector packs with these commander decks for this set as well. So if you buy a commander deck, you will get a mini little bonus collector booster pack that, as far as I recall, only includes, it's either 2 or 3 cards in it. You get something like a foil, and then a rare and a mythic rare, or a rare or a mythic rare, and something else. So it's just a tiny little, give you the idea of what a collector pack is, but really it's just a straight up bonus at this point, right? Like if you're going to buy the commander decks and you just get a pack tossed in with like a random extra rare or 2, that's not too shabby. That's Wizards doing the first taste is free, right? And that actually makes perfect sense for new Capenna with what we're dealing with. Actually, speaking of the news, there was this whole thing that happened like last week with Wizards and the WPN and Streets of New Capenna and all this kind of stuff that I had wanted to talk about, but we're going to have to save that for another news episode. Either way, the Commander Legends Baldur's Gate set is going to continue on with some of what the Dungeons and Dragons set has brought into the game. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the party mechanic continue continuing onwards, I am actually happy to know that they are making another dungeon, because I think that the concept is really cool. It's just the execution really didn't work well, and truthfully, it's a nightmare on Arena. Like, playing a dungeon in real life or whatever feels a lot easier to deal with than dealing with the dungeon in Arena, where you got to sit there and make all these extra, wait while your opponent clicks through everything and submits. It's clunky. So here's hoping they get that sorted out, because I'm a huge fan of D&D, and I'm a big fan of Magic the Gathering as well, right? Obviously, put them together, and I'll take that sandwich any day of the week. So thanks for coming by, my friends. You may share your thoughts in the comments below if you so desire. That's up to you. Big thank you to all of my patrons for supporting my channel. It does mean a lot to me. And I will see you all, my friends, in the next video.